آله وصحبه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. نويت التعلم والتعليم والتذكر والتذكير والنفع والانتفاع والإفادة والاستفادة والحث على التمسك بكتاب الله وسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم والدعاء بذل الهدى والدلالة على الخير والدفاع عن شله ومرضاته وقربه وثوابه سبحانه وتعالى. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا من فضلك علما وتعليما واغفر لنا ذنوبنا واستر عيوبنا واصلح قلوبنا انك على كل شيء قدير. السلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته. If the audio is working online, could someone just put up a message, please? Inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. I suppose if no message goes up, then it's not working.
Yes, I. Looks like I checked the audio.
Okay, well, he's really fine. We're good, inshallah. Inshallah, I'm going to try and battle through a little bit today because there won't be class next week. Next week is going to be Tuesday. So it'll be a class from inshallah Shahzad al-Murad on the fiqh of Ramadan from Hanafi perspective. That'll be online, inshallah ta'ala. So for that reason, we won't have this gathering. So this will be the last gathering until the next, I guess, whenever that will be, inshallah. So we'll try and battle through to get to the end of the chapter on knowledge. So the next time we sit, we can sit and go through from the beginning of the chapters concerned with purification, the different acts of wudu, the act of wudu itself, when performed, what's the reward, وهكذا, inshallah ta'ala. طيب. Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, يبث الله العباد يوم القيامة ثم يميز العلماء فيقول يا معشر العلماء إني لم أضع علمي فيكم لأعذبكم اذهبوا فقد غفرت لكم. He said sallallahu alaihi wasallam that Allah will bring forward his slaves on the day of judgment, and then he will distinguish the people of knowledge, the ulama, and he will say to them, O people of knowledge, verily I didn't place knowledge of me within you so that I could punish you. Go, for you are forgiven. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Imam ad-Dimyati here does something which he does really quite rarely in the work. Well, he's going to speak himself. He's giving his opinion regarding all the various different ahadith that we've been discussing so far. قلت وهذا الحديث وأشباهه وجميع أحاديث هذا الباب إنما هي في حق العالم العامل المبتغي بعلمه وجه الله تعالى عز وجل. He's saying here, all of these hadith that we've been going through, the different rewards attached to the people of knowledge, etc., etc. Imam ad-Dimyati here says that this is in regards to an alim, al-amil bi'ilmihi. This is a person of knowledge who acts in accordance with his knowledge. Al-mubtaghi bi'ilmihi wajha Allah ta'ala. The one who seeks through that knowledge face or the countenance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His intention is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the person that we're speaking of. All of these fada'il, these merits of the people of knowledge, merits of seeking knowledge, the merits of teaching knowledge, is if a person is acting in accordance with the knowledge that he's taken. There's a very beautiful thing. It's not an absolute rule within Arabic, but it exists within certain words where if you take a word, and a lot of Arabic words that could be boiled down to 3 root letters. If you take those letters and you rearrange them, it gives another meaning which still has a link to the previous. So as an example, use Ain, Lam, Mim. Ilm, which means knowledge. Ain, Lam, Mim. Alima means he knew. Right? It's Ilm, Alima. Rearrange the letters. So it's the same 3 letters, Ain, Lam, Mim. But we're going to put the Ain first. We're going to swap the Mim and the Lam. Amila means to act, showing you that there's a direct link between knowledge and action. A person who, excuse me, a person who takes knowledge, goes through all the effort of studying, but then doesn't apply what he's learned, la yanfa', doesn't benefit, right? But we can rearrange the letters further. So we've now reached Ammi, La, Ain, Mim, Lam. Let's rearrange them a little bit. Let's swap the Lam and the Ain. Lama'a, which means to be illuminated, to be shining, glittering. Literally, rearranging of the letters, you could say, Man amil bima alim lama. Whoever acts in accordance with what he knows shines. هكذا العلم. That's knowledge. Knowledge that's not acted in accordance with, it's just information. It's no different to Google or a program on a computer. أيوة. وأما العالم غير العامل فإنه يكد الناس عذابا يوم القيامة. As for the person of knowledge who doesn't act in accordance with his knowledge, then he is of the most severely punished people on the day of judgment. Likewise, a person of knowledge who doesn't seek by that knowledge the face of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will not even smell the fragrance of Jannah. I mean, he ain't going to get close to it. We know the nature of the fragrances of Jannah. In the hadith, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam describes them. He says, everybody in Jannah, in every room, will have 70 doors. And through each door will emerge or enter in a different fragrance from the fragrances of paradise. And the beauty of that would be what? If a person was to just do a circuit of that room, just going to do a lap, smelling the different fragrances that are coming in from paradise. That first door, I never smelled anything so beautiful. Next door again, it's even more beautiful than the last one. The next one has to be more beautiful. The next one has to be more beautiful. It's gone all the way around, comes back to that first door. It wouldn't be Jannah if that first fragrance now was exactly the same as the others, because it would mean it's not as good as the ones he's just been smelling. So that would have changed. He's back to door number one. MashaAllah, that's better than the last 70 I've been smelling. Second, that's better than the last 71. Hakada. The fragrances of Jannah, strong, powerful. Here, Imam ad-Dimyati saying, a person who doesn't study, learn that knowledge, and then act in accordance with it, and he's not doing it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's not even going to smell the fragrance of paradise. Meaning you're not even going to get close. And this person, the person of knowledge who doesn't act in accordance with his knowledge, is of the three types by whom the fire is kindled. This is the hadith that we've mentioned previously, the hadith of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, of the first people cast into the fire are whom? A person of knowledge. Allah will bring him forward. Tell me about your knowledge. Ya Allah, I learned it for your sake. Allah says, you're a liar. Take him to the fire. A person of Quran comes forward, speak, says, I learned Quran for your sake. You're a liar. Take him to the hellfire. Another person comes forward, I spent my money in your sake. Allah says, you're a liar. You spent it so that people would say you're a generous person. They said it. Take him to the hellfire. Why? The people who did what they did for the sake of the dunya, and Allah gave them the dunya for it. Whatever they intended, Allah gave it to them. If you've had it, that's it. You've had your fill. Take him to the hellfire. Hakada. There you are. Farqad al-Sabkhi al-Hasan asked. So Farqad al-Sabkhi asked al-Hasan al-Basri about something. He said to him, Inna al-fuqaha yukhalifunak. He said, the scholars of fiqh, they dispute with you, they differ with you on matters. Fuqaha, he said specifically. Why is that important? Because al-Hasan al-Basri said, Taqulatka ammak furayqad. May your mother be, for want of a better way to say it, may your mother be bereaved by you. May she lose you. Yeah. And this it's an expression. He's not literally saying, I hope you die. Right? He's saying, have you ever seen a scholar of fiqh with your own eyes? Because now he's going to say to him what a faqih is. He's going to say, you never come across those people. What's a faqih? It's not just somebody who knows what Imam Abu Hanifa says about a specific mas'ala. إنما الفقيه الزاهد في الدنيا. A faqih is somebody who he's got no inclination towards the dunya. He's giving it up. راغب في الآخرة. He's striving for the next life. Al-Basir bi-dinihi. Somebody who keeps watch over his religion. Al-Mudawim ala ibadati rabbih. Is always, constantly in the worship of his Lord. Al-Wara' al-Kaf an a'rad al-Muslimin. He keeps himself from the dignity of the believers. Meaning what? And he doesn't covet what they possess. doesn't covet what's in their hands, in their houses, doesn't look towards their women. The honor of the believers isn't just in the way I dress or how I look, but honor of the believers. Mind ourselves that of the things that the Sharia comes to protect, the ulama have spoken about is what? They say every ruling in Sharia comes to either protect life, religion, wealth, lineage, intellect, and then some of them say honor. Every ruling in religion, right? For example, protecting life. Don't kill anybody. That comes to protect life. For example, to protect religion. Yani if the Muslims are being oppressed, a Muslim authority announces jihad against them to protect the Muslims, to allow them to practice their religion. There are rulings that are spoken about in the books of fiqh where non-Muslims in a Muslim land, provided they pay you could refer to it as a token amount because it's a small amount, provided they pay that, they are protected by the Muslim state. They are protected, their wealth is protected. That's one of those rules, like if the non-Muslims knew about it, they'd be like, where's this Muslim state? Now, all of us speaking about the Muslim state and whatever, the non-Muslims would be saying, I want to go live in that state. Circumstances being what they are here in the West. All I have to do is pay that little amount, and it is a little amount, it's not a lot. I just got to pay that amount, then I'm going to be protected. Come on. MashaAllah. What else did we say? Intellect, the prohibition of alcohol. It's to protect people's intellect. To protect people's honor, yani. What does Allah say? Like, lower your gaze from believing women. That's somebody's sister, somebody's mother, somebody's wife, somebody's daughter. So every ruling in religion comes to protect one of those. They call them maqasid al-sharia, the objectives of the sharia. Every ruling in the sacred law protects either life, intellect, wealth, lineage. Lineage, for example, how's that protected? To get married. No intimacy prior to marriage. So, yeah, that ruling is there to protect lineage because everybody has a right to know who their mother and father are. وهكذا إن شاء الله تعالى. طيب, so a faqih here, Hassan al-Basri saying is al-wara' al-kafana a'rad al-muslimin. Yani he restrains himself from the dignity of the believers. Al-afif an amwalihim. He shrinks from their wealth. And he is virtuous and pure when it comes to the wealth of others. Doesn't covet it. الناصح لجماعتهم. He counsels the groups. الله الموفق لا رب غيره. أيوة هكذا. And Allah is the one who gives tawfiq, enabling grace and success. There is no Lord but Him. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, فضل العالم إلى العابد 70 درجة بين كل درجتين حضر الفرس 70 عاما. He said sallallahu alaihi wasallam that the difference, the distinction between a person of knowledge and a worshipper is 70 ranks. Between every 2 ranks, he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is the galloping of a horse for 70 years. The difference between 2 ranks. But what is the actual difference between the alim, person of knowledge, and the abid, the worshipper? 70 darajat. Allahu Akbar. He said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, faqihun wahidun ashaddu ala shaytani min alf abid. That one faqih, one scholar of fiqh, is more severe on the devil than 1,000 worshippers. أيوة. ما عبد الله بشيء أفضل من فقه في دين ولا فقيه واحد أشد على الشيطان من 1000 عابد ولكل شيء عماد وعماد هذا الدين الفقه. The end of that hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says, well, the middle part is a repetition of the previous hadith. He said, ﷺ, everything has a pillar. The pillar of this religion is what? Fiqh. The word fiqh linguistically means what? Understanding. من يرد الله به خيرا يفقهه في الدين. The Prophet ﷺ says in the hadith of al-Bukhari, whoever Allah desires good for, He gives him understanding of the religion. فقهه في الدين. That's the meaning of fiqh. أيوة. He said, Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib رضي الله تعالى عنه says, العالم أفضل من الصائم القائم المجاهد. Person of knowledge, again here, reiterate what Imam ad-Dimyati said, rahimahullah ta'ala, We're speaking about somebody who acts in accordance with his knowledge. It's not just somebody who has a bank of information in his mind so he can engage in a debate or discussions and arguments with people. So an alim, person of knowledge, is better than the one who is fasting, the one who stands at night in prayer, the one who's gone out on jihad. وَإِذَا مَاتَ الْعَالِمُ, if a person of knowledge passes away, ظُلِمَ فِي الإسلام, Islam has been breached. ظُلْمَةً لَا يَصُدُّهَا إِلَّا خَلَفٌ مِّنْهُ. The only thing that can fill that breach is a successor, meaning somebody who takes up that mantle. Person of knowledge passes away. It's like, we've got to imagine a ship. Imagine a ship. When an alim passes away, the ship of Islam has been breached. There's a hole appeared. And what do you call, is the bottom of a ship called a hull? A hole has appeared in the hull of that ship. That hole needs to be plugged, needs to be blocked. The only way it can be blocked is with another person of knowledge. If it isn't, and then another alim passes away, another breach in the hole, another alim passes away, another breach in the, another alim passes away, another breach in the hole, and these aren't being plugged, eventually the ship's going to sink. So Sayyidina Ali here, Karramallahu wajhahu, is telling us that the only way the passing of an alim can be rectified is by the emergence of another alim who takes his place. Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, alaykum bil ilm, you must become people of knowledge. Take to knowledge. فَوَالَّذِي نَفْسِي بِيَدِهِ, for verily, I swear by the one in whose hand lies my soul, لَيَوَدُّنَّ رِجَالٌ قُتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ شُهَدَاءَ أَنْ يَبْعَثَهُمُ اللَّهُ عَلَمًا. Swears by Allah, first of all. So you know he means business. Now what's he saying? He's saying people who were killed fighting as martyrs in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will wish, they will desire, they would love to be resurrected as ulama, as scholars of people of knowledge. لِمَا يَرَوْنَ مِنْ كَرَامَتِهِمْ, due to what they see of their nobility. وَإِنْ أَحَدًا لَمْ يُولَدْ عَالِمًا وَإِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ بِالتَّعَلُّمِ, which is beautiful. He says nobody's born a scholar, nobody's born a person of knowledge. I'm so much, what about the jinn? We're not speaking about the jinn. The jinn, they say, are born fully intellectually developed. They have no childhood. That's why the jinn, our teachers have said, are fascinated by children, like human children, because they don't have a childhood. So, but we're not speaking about it. We're speaking about human beings. No one's born a person of knowledge. And you look at a baby, you don't think, man, that's an intelligent person, that. I'll give him my accounts. Maybe he can figure out the profit loss. It doesn't happen. You're not going to go to a 6-month-old baby and ask him how to perform your prayer. Mama's barely crawling. Nobody's born an alim. إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ بِالتَّعَلُّمِ. Knowledge is attained through study, through learning, through striving. Take some effort. Rolling up of the sleeves, travel, movement, sacrifice. I speak about the ulama, sacrificing. Saw something recently, Habib Umar speaking about when he had to leave Tareen because of the oppression of the communists, the communist regime, that he had to go study in a different part of Yemen. He said when he left, all he had with him, 300 riyal, Yemeni. That was it. And what that was worth then, Allahu A'lam. But we know it, he's not saying $300, significantly less than that. It's worth significantly less than that now. But back then, yeah, even if you said $300 is all he had when he left, you'd be like, oh, that's not actually much yet. But it was significantly less than that. You know, there was times, he said like, where he was studying the madrasa, he was studying in Bayda, Hafidahullah, that he was saying, Eid time come around, everyone's gone home, right? Everyone's gone home to their families. He's alone in the madrasa on Eid. And what's his Eid meal? Biscuits. Biscuits, glass of water. That was it. MashaAllah. Sacrifice. People who gave. So when we look at how easy Allah made it for us, and for students in the modern era, like easy. You think of what it was like in the times of people like Sheikh Ibrahim, Sheikh Faiz, whatever. It wasn't. It's difficult in that time. Nowadays, it's easy. And when we speak about sacrifice, we can't be like, yeah, we gave up this and this. Well, sacrifice. Nothing. Allah made it easy for us. Our teachers sacrificed. They gave up. Anyway, so knowledge, seeking knowledge requires sacrifice. There's no way we'll be finishing this chapter. That much has become clear. The man. Anyway. A man once came to the Messenger, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he was in the masjid. He was leaning in the masjid, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This man came in and he said, Ya Rasulullah, inni ji'tu atlubul ilm. He said, O Messenger of Allah, verily I have come seeking knowledge. Beautiful, mashallah. What the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Marhaban bi talib al-ilm. Welcome to the seeker of knowledge. Inna talib al-ilmi latahuffuhu al-malaika bi ajnihatiha. It was verily the seeker of knowledge. Yani, the angels will envelop them in their wings. ثم يركب بعضهم بعضا حتى يبلغ السماء الدنيا من محبتهم لما يطلب. Not only will the wings envelop that person, not only will the angels envelop that person in their wings, but they will then be piled, the angels, on top of one another till it reaches the heavens out of joy, out of love, من محبتهم لما يطلب, due to their love of what he is seeking. Prophet ﷺ said, ما من خارج خرج من بيته في طلب العلم إلا وضعت له الملائكة أجنحتها رضا بما يصنع. Mentioned that before. The different opinions regarding what that means. That Messenger ﷺ said that when a person sets out seeking knowledge, the angels place their wings. So that could mean they literally place their wings down, i.e. that person is walking on the wings of angels when he's seeking knowledge. Or it could mean that the wings of the angels aren't flapping. Meaning, in the gatherings of knowledge, angels are present. Inshallah ta'ala. Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, من غدا يريد العلم يتعلمه لله فتح الله له بابا إلى الجنة. He said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, whoever goes out in the morning seeking knowledge, studying, seeking that knowledge for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah will open for him a door to paradise. وَفَرَشَتْ لَهُ الْمَلَائِكَ أَكْنَافَهَا. The angels will spread their wings out for him. وَصَلَّتْ عَلَيْهِ الْمَلَائِكَ وَمَلَائِكَةُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَحِيتَانُ الْبَحْرِ. And the angels, here as we came across earlier on, the angels, as the throne bearers, will send prayers upon him. And the rest of the angels of the heavens will send prayers upon him. And the animals in the sea will send prayers upon him. وَلِلْعَالَمِ مِنَ الْفَضْلِ لِلْعَابِدِي كَالْقَمَرِ لَيْلَةَ الْبَدْرِ عَلَى أَصْغَرِ كَوْكَبٍ فِي السَّمَاءِ. The superiority of a person of knowledge over the worshipper is like the superiority of the moon on a full moon night over the smallest heavenly bodies. وَالْعُلَمَاء وَرَثَةُ الْأَنْبِيَاءِ. The scholars are the inheritors of the prophets. أَلَا إِنَّ الْأَنْبِيَاءَ لَمْ يُوَرِّثُوا دِينَارًا وَلَا دِرْهَمًا. The prophets didn't leave behind as inheritance gold or silver, لكنهم ورثوا العلم. They left behind as inheritance knowledge. فَمَنْ أَخَذَهُ أَخَذَ بِحَظِّهِ. Whoever takes that knowledge has taken his portion. We all have a portion, because we all got to pray. So we all need a portion of that knowledge to be able to fulfill what Allah has made obligatory upon us. If anyone's involved in business, obligatory to study the fiqh of transactions. That's another piece of knowledge that's now become obligatory upon us. That's our portion. So everybody has a portion. Getting married. When somebody's about to get married, ideally, we study the fiqh of marriage. And in that, we also study the fiqh of divorce, so that we know what the potential pitfalls are. The person can protect themselves. It's much easier to get divorced than it is to get married. Easy to get married, offer, acceptance, 2 witnesses, done. Don't need no intention, don't need no gruli, mendi, whatever, don't need no 100 grand spent, don't need it. Offer, acceptance, 2 witnesses, done. Even if it's done as a performance. Muslim man, Muslim woman acting out on stage. It's a play, yani. They're just acting it out. One makes an offer, the other accepts. If there's 2 Muslims present as witnesses, they are married. It's done. Words of power. In our tradition, words of power. Easy to get married. Getting divorced is easier. You don't even need witnesses. A person sat by himself in the darkest room in the house, pronounces divorce on his wife, nobody around to hear it, that divorce is enacted. So a person, when they're about to get married, needs to study the fiqh of marriage, needs to study the fiqh of divorce, needs to study the fiqh of inheritance. Inshallah ta'ala. That's a person's portion of the inheritance left behind by the Messenger. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَمَوْتُ الْعَالِمِ مُصِيبَةٌ لَا تُجْبَرُ. The Prophet ﷺ said, the death of a person of knowledge is a musibah. It's a problem that can't be restored. وَظُلْمَةٌ لَا تُسَدْ. It's a gap that's appeared in the ummah that can't be plugged. It's a star, وَهُوَ نَجْمٌ طُمِسْ. It's a star that's been obliterated. مَوْتُ قَبِيلَةٍ أَيْسَرْ مِنْ مَوْتِ عَالِمٍ. Said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the death of an entire tribe is easier, i.e. lighter, less significant than the death of a person of knowledge. But somebody's asking online, has Surah Yusuf been completed? Allah Ta'ala alam. That's Sheikh Harun's class on her. When's that, a Wednesday or a Thursday? That's a Thursday, right?
Which class?
Sheikh Harun's Surah Yusuf class. When does that take place? Oh no, it's tomorrow, right? It's on a Wednesday, I believe. But Allahu alam. That's, you need, you're 24 hours out. Inshallah. Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, ما من رجل يتعلم كلمة أو كلمتين أو ثلاثا أو أربعا أو خمسا مما فرض الله عز وجل فيتعلمهن إلا دخل الجنة. He said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that a person doesn't learn a word, 2 words, or 3, or 4, or 5 from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made obligatory upon him, except he enters paradise. And this is stuff that we've said it previously. Al-Majjar al-Rabih literally means the profitable marketplace. It doesn't even make sense. Like the transaction doesn't make sense. Are you buying something? You're thinking this, what I'm giving, or that, what I'm purchasing is worth this, what I'm handing over. That's a transaction, isn't it? If you thought you were being ripped off, you wouldn't do it. Or you think, man, like that's a good deal. That's a bargain. Man selling a Porsche for a tenner. 2 of them. Maybe 3 are a Porsche. Because you think, okay, I'm getting something here. Here, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying, what, yani? Of the things that Allah's made obligatory on us, Allah's then going to give us that reward of Jannah. Now, He makes it obligatory. Okay, we've got to do it, so we do it. Now He's going to reward us for it. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. And to make it even more baffling, وَاللَّهُ خَلَقَكُمْ وَمَا تَعْمَلُونَ. Allah created you and what you do. It's not even me. He's made it obligatory upon us. Then He's created it, given it to us. Okay, that's me, like, it's mine now. And then He's going to reward us for it, subhanahu wa ta'ala. How does that make sense? Now, we'd be foolish to pass up that transaction, wouldn't we? We'd have to be daft. So, like, I'm not interested in that. It don't make sense. Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Afdal as-sadaqa an yata'allama al-mar'u al-muslimu 'ilman thumma yu'allimuhu akhahu al-muslim." He said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the best of sadaqah, charity, is what? That a person learns, a Muslim learns something, some knowledge, and then he teaches it to his fellow Muslim. It's the best form of sadaqah. Because that's not just, we heard one of our teachers, Sayyid Ahmed, he was saying today, when you give something in charity, who's better? The person who's giving or the person who's receiving? He was saying the better is the person who's receiving. Okay, how is that? And we wouldn't think that makes sense. I'm the one who sacrificed something. So how come he's better than me, the one I'm giving it to? He said a person could decide, okay, I want to give £100 in charity. Doesn't find nobody to give it to. Does he have a reward with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Yes, for the intention. But for the act? No, because he hasn't done it. But when Allah now puts somebody in front of you who's there to receive it, oh, mashallah. He says some of the righteous used to say, like, paraphrasing, but blessed are you, the one who's receiving the charity. Blessed are you who is safekeeping this amount on my behalf until Yawm al-Qiyamah. That's what that person is doing, right? That I give you the sadaqah, that person's taking it, he's going to benefit from it. But you, as the one who's giving it, he's become the conduit for you to receive the reward for it on Yawm al-Qiyamah. So it's as if he's just holding on to it. And then Yawm al-Qiyamah, when it's accrued all that benefit from the generosity and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he'll give it back to us. Here's your reward for that. So many of those who have said, no, it's the one who's receiving, he's better than the one who's giving. Now, you have this situation here, the alim, person of knowledge, studies, passes it on to others. That's a sadaqah that he's going to see the benefit of in the dunya and after he's passed away. So the hadith of the messenger said, what? This is one of the things, the knowledge that people benefit from, which he taught to others, continue to benefit from that when we're in the grave. Doesn't matter how small, trivial we consider it to be, that's irrelevant. If we've taught anybody anything and they continue to benefit from it after we've passed away, we continue to get rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sadaqah jariyah, a sadaqah that continues to give. Ayo. He said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, لأن تغدو فتعلم آية من كتاب الله خير لك من أن تصلي 100 ركعة. He goes that you go out seeking knowledge, even if it's only one verse from the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's better for you than you pray 1,000 raka'at. 1,000 raka'at. We've already said, al-alim khayrun min al-abid. The person of knowledge is better than a worshipper, because the benefit of a person of knowledge extends to others, whereas the abid, he benefits himself. That's beautiful. Beautiful, yani. The abid is beautiful, and nobody's saying otherwise. But the alim, his benefit is muta'addi, yani it reaches others, or at least it should. وهكذا إن شاء الله تعالى. أيوه. ولئن تغدو فتعلم بابا من العلم عمل به أو لم يعمل خير من أن تصلي 1000 ركعة. He also said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, that a person who goes out and learns a chapter from knowledge, whether he acts upon it or not, is better for him than praying 1,000 raka'at. Whether he acts upon it or not. Now we got to take that with yani, the understanding that's been given through the previous ahadith that we've taken. Because it could also be understood that the person has taken that knowledge and passed it on to others. He's acting in accordance with it himself and he's taught it to others. They're not acting in accordance with it. But he still continues to benefit. It's still better for him than 1,000 rak'at of prayer. Right? But he's got to be acting in accordance with it himself. إذا مررتم برياض الجنة فارتعوا. If you pass by the meadows of paradise, graze. He said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he was asked, what are the meadows of paradise? He said, majalisul ilm, gatherings of knowledge. Majalisul ilm, riyadul jannah. And we take the words of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam literally. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The gatherings of knowledge are meadows of paradise. And there's certain times, may Allah bless us all to experience it, but there's certain times you'll be in a gathering of knowledge and you'll just be like, this is it. This is what they're talking about. This is Jannah. And you feel it to the core of your being. You're just like, this must be Jannah. If this ain't Jannah, like, what could it be? Like that sakina, that tranquility that Allah sends down on a person's heart in those types of gatherings. You just think, it's all good. Everything's good. All the mess that the dunya is in becomes irrelevant in those types of gatherings. Allah bless us all to frequent those types of gatherings. Just, it's all good. It's all good, inshallah. Al-hikmah dalatul mu'min. فَحَيْثُ وَجَدَهَا فَهُوَ حَقٌّ بِهَا. He said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So wisdom is the lost property of the believer. So wherever he finds it, he has more right to it. That's why sometimes we quote song lyrics or movies or whatever. Hikmah is broader than just, yani, this is Islam. What did the ulama say? Yani, hikmah can be found on the tongues of people who are distant from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but they could still express something, but there's a wisdom within it. So as believers should be like, yeah, in a Muslim, you take it. No, we've got to be mature enough and experienced enough and knowledgeable enough to recognize hikmah, wisdom, when it corresponds to our faith and our tradition. If it goes against the faith and tradition, okay, yeah, abandon it completely. People who say things like, I mean, do you want to give examples? Probably not. No, I'm not going to say that. Leave it. When people say things that are against the tradition, but because it's sort of, and people speak a lot nowadays about justice, right? Speak about justice. I want justice. Me, I was wronged. I want to seek redress, etc., etc. That's dangerous. Hey, from to that, Prophet ﷺ told us, the way you are with others, that's how Allah will be with you. So if we're seeking justice in this life, what do we expect to happen Yawm al-Qiyamah? We're going to be taken to task. Justice is going to be sought from us. Promise you, there ain't a single one of us who's lived perfectly in our lives. So it's not about justice. It's about what? Ar-Rahimuna, yarhamuhum ar-Rahman. The merciful ones are shown mercy by the all-merciful, Tabaraka wa ta'ala. Irhamu man fil ard. Show mercy to those in the earth. Yarhamukum man fis sama. One in the heavens will show mercy to you. That's it. We've got to let things go. We have to be strong enough in spirit to be able to let things go. I'm not saying it's easy. Not saying it's easy. It's tough. When people wrong you, when people wrong loved ones, when people wrong those that you care about, it's tough to say like, okay, let it go. Forgive them. Just let it go. But we got to place ourselves in our mind's eye in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Yawm al-Qiyamah. When Allah speaks to us about you wronged so-and-so, you said this, you hurt so-and-so, you broke his heart, you did this, you cut that one off. If we want Allah to forgive us, let it go. Then we got to be people who let it go. And obviously when I say let it go, people think I'm quoting Frozen, right? I wasn't, but there we are. There's a reference. Al-Hikmah dalatul mu'min. Wisdom is the lost property of the believer. Wherever he finds it, he has more right to it. Let's stop there, inshallah, because there's no way to complete the chapter. No, you can close today, inshallah. So let's stop there, inshallah. Does anyone have any questions? Has anyone any questions? Any complaints? Abdullah, any questions? طيب. فتح الله علينا وفقه العارفين ونور قلوبكم بالإيمان واليقين والصدق في التوجه إليه وثبتني وإياكم على اتباع حبيبه وأغنى بعد الحسن وعلى آله في خير ولطف وعافية وإلى حضرة النبي اللهم صل وسلم وبارك عليه وعلى آله وصحبه. الفاتحة. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.